Okay, welcome back everybody to Coffee and Art in the Morning. We're doing another segment. We did like a studio catch up a minute ago, and now we're going to do a color book start of something, and out of Mythomorphia. So we decided to do the Kraken, and Sammy, Color with Sammy, said we need to do Kraken Lacken, and that was so funny. I guess you had to be there. It's going in the Wingnut book. So the Wingnut book is just a little book of all kinds of funny, witty sayings like that. That when they said it doesn't really make, it's not really funny maybe to anybody when you go back and read them. I say this all the time. Denise has gone through this and doesn't get any of it. She goes, I don't see what's so funny about that. It's because you had to be there. This is stuff you had to be there. And so they're all on Post-it notes, and they're just funny things like Janet said, Rhea. If y'all know Rhea, the chicken or the bird without feathers. The original Rhea passed away, but anyway, on Instagram, Rhea's Janet said that Rhea's neck looks like. So that one's still funny, Janet. But anyway, so they're just all kind of funny little sayings. And when someone says something that's cute or funny like that, we write it down and we put it in the Wingnut book. Because, you know, we're all a bunch of wingnuts. Oh my gosh. So, okay, so we're going to work in Mythomorphia. Real quick, last Monday I was trying to find this page, and I said I'm pretty much finished with it, but I couldn't find where I put them. Well, I went back after the show that we did this and stickled the gold. So all the gold on their clothes has been stickled. And so I put them up on a shelf to dry. And I had forgot. So they were on a shelf drying. And that's why I couldn't find them. But I'm going to call them done. I'm going to leave the background black and white. I did a little outer space on the window there. But I'm going to leave all the black and white design black and white and just kind of leave it as that. Just because it just kind of looks kind of graphic. But you're proud to be a wingnut. So yeah, I haven't photographed these or anything yet because they were on the shelf drying. And when you photograph gold, it's really hard. You got to take, you take a picture of the whole page, and then you got to take like an angle shot so that you can see the shimmer. Otherwise, you can't see the gold, and that effect, that cool shiny effect is gone because you don't photograph it from a side. Anyway, so I'm going to call them down. That was our Doodlers Anonymous. So I'm going to I've already flipped through here, and you can see where I've started some pages with just acrylic wash. And people still ask me, what do you mean by acrylic wash? It's just watered down acrylic craft paint. That's all it is. That's a Craft Smart brand. My favorite brand is Americana. I just like the colors and the coverage. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. I just always have loved my Americana. This is the new label that has deco art really big up here. Anyway, so I just put some in one of my little trays here and squirt a little water it down, and then do a wash background. And pencil goes over it. Awesome. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, somebody had to tell me where that was, Connie. So I'm just going to flip through. I don't have a lot done in this book yet, and it's been out a while, and now we're into Finalizing, which I've done one. I think I've done one page and some washes in it. But I love all my Kirby books, and so I'll just take a moment to show some of them, and yeah. So I had thought about I had already finished the water dragon, and I was going to do the fire. Well, in my mind, one was a water dragon and one was a fire dragon. Well, I'll get to it in a minute. So I had painted the background for the fire dragon, but then we changed my mind. We changed our mind, and we're going to do the Kraken. So this is the one we're going to start, is the Kraken. And I'm going to zoom in when I get to working on it. But this is the one we're going to start today. And yeah, so I like a lot. I like a lot of the pages in here. This one, I got her done, and I haven't decided if I want him to kind of how to match them up, because I made them a 2-page spread. This one's in progress so that I could show how to do snow and glittery snow and snow on the trees, snow on the mountains with the sunset behind it, and then we did stickles on the mountains. But don't do your stickles anywhere until you're completely finished, because you can't color over stickles, so you want to make sure. This has just got a wash of acrylic paint on the back. Here's my werewolf. This one, I think there's 3 videos for this. One of them, like part 2 or 3, I can't remember which one. But one of the parts out of the 4 parts did not upload. But there's still 3 parts to this on YouTube. And this took a long time. I'm not going to lie. This took a long time. And then I went over his fur with gold and silver, so he's all shiny. But this took a long time, and he does have bloody footprints, and the swirls in the tree, all these bats and birds took forever. This took a long time. So let's see. So yeah, here's the one this one I finished, and it's my my water dragon, and so I want to do a fire dragon. So I thought I would do this one today. So this morning, while I was just setting up and everything, I painted the background. It took about 45 minutes, 45 minutes to paint this background in. I wanted to have it done so it wouldn't take up more time of coloring time, because, you know, it takes a while. And I'm pretty fast at it, but it still takes a while to do a background. So I thought I'd go ahead and have that background ready, and then he's going to be orange, red, yellow. He's going to be fire colors, right? Because I did this one in watercolors, in colors of water, not watercolors. It's in. So yeah, and then so I'm just going to do the complete flip through here. So there's still lots to do. This one I haven't done a lot of backgrounds. The other Kirby's, I've done a lot of backgrounds getting ready to paint or color. This one, I did all the shading, and there's a lot of shading on that dragon. You can see all those scales. Every one of those scales is done individually. Can you see all those scales? So this was a lot of work. And then after I finished it, then I did a mist over the whole thing with acrylic paint on a baby wipe. So I just dipped my baby wipe in the acrylic paint, mashed it into the baby wipe, and then just did the mist across the whole thing. There's no going back from that. You got to kind of be brave, because you can't erase it. I mean, you know, so, but I really like the effect of it, and there's just lots of detail, all the little snakes in there. You know. So this one has a lot of detail. Thanks, Zig. And yeah, some trolls. It's just everything about it. I just love all of Kirby's books. I got a request to do this one. I need to get on that sometime. It's got lots of, look at all the roses in there. It's just really pretty. But again, you know, it's hard to do because I don't speed up my videos. One of the reasons is, well, there's more than one reason I don't do speeded up videos. One is because this is a live show with a live chat, and I'm talking to mostly alive, awake people. They're all alive. Most of them are awake. And I like to show real time. I mean, I do watch some speeded up videos on YouTube, but I personally really appreciate when the people that do speed it up, any kind of speed up videos, whether it's color book pages, drawing, painting, whatever, that when they tell in the description how long it actually took. And I think that's important, especially for newbies, someone that's just picking up their first, adult color book, and they see someone color a page in 20 minutes, speed it up, finished, start to finish, 20 minutes, and they go, wow. And then, yeah, live people. And then, and then they go to do it, and it's taking them days, maybe weeks to color a page. You know what I'm saying? So mine are all real time. But again, I don't mind a speeded up video because I know how long these things take. But a lot of people just starting out, whether it's drawing, painting, watercoloring, inking, anything, any kind of art, they see the speeded up video and they go, oh, well, I can do that. It's going to take me, an hour. But anyway, so yeah. And then there's the things that are hidden in the book, and they have the answers of where they're hidden. Then in the back here has the names of the different ones, like the werewolf and centaur, all the different things. But anyway, so we'll get crack-a-lackin', or is that Kraken lackin'? Sammy. Okay, so I think we're going to start on this. And I will zoom in one while I'm doing the washes on the background. Then when I go to do any shading or anything like that, I don't know how far we'll get today, but when I go to do any shading or so, I'll zoom in, on those areas. Okay, so let's move the light just a little off to the side. If y'all have any questions, put them in caps. And yeah. So let me decide on some main colors here. I know he should probably be green, but, I don't know. What's this color? Maybe antique teal. And I'm not sure if there's much left in this one. I don't even know. I say I'm going to use this, and there may not hardly be anything in that. I need to write this one down. I don't even know if this color's still around. It's called antique teal. Let me write it down so next time I go, I'll look for it. Because I only see this one on my shelf. Oh, I like this color too. What color is that? Let's go with antique teal. Let's go with the wash of this color. It's not green, it's not blue. It suits the Kraken. All right, so you don't need a lot when you add water to it. Now, this has got white paint. Let me get a clean palette here. Well, when I say clean, I just mean dry. It's dry. And I've been trying to save these for Dot, the skins here. Okay, so let's put a little out. This, like I said, this is almost empty. I'll put it down on its top to let it kind of fall down. And then I just squirt water. And just water it down. Don't use your water brushes for this. We use our water brushes all the time for watercolor. I would not recommend using your water brushes with acrylic paint because you can't get it. You get it down in the inside there. You're never going to get that acrylic out. Don't use these water brushes for your acrylic, even watered down acrylic paint. I just use cheap craft brushes and get it. You just have to get it watered down enough that you can still see the color book line. Now, when I do a background, like if I do the background black, I will use solid. I'll just use paint right out of the bottle with no water. So if you want a solid background, no water. If you're using a wash on your page on the thing, you want it thin enough, and you might have to do a test. You want it thin enough that you can still see the color book lines. Now, the Mythomorphia is pretty thick paper. And I say this all the time. It's not the paint that goes through, it's the water. So if you want to layer up the color of acrylic washes, dry between layers. Because it's not the paint that's going through, it's the water. They stay, and you found out the hard way. Okay, so, and it's really runny. Can you see how runny it is? All right, and this is probably too big of a brush, but I'm going to work with it for a minute. And really, I'm not even going to be careful on the edges, because what I'm going to do is the background's going to be black. So I don't even have to be careful about not going out of lines. But if you want to do any, like, see, I'm kind of scruffing it in a little bit. Be careful. Depending on the thickness of your paper will depend on how much you can scruffy it in. But make it thin enough. See how you can still see the lines in the color book? The line art? I'm going to have to get a smaller brush here in a minute, but I'm going to get the big areas. Same thing for any little tiny white dots or white splashes where the water is going to be. I can always go back over that with Posca. I don't really stress about going out of lines much, because pretty much everything can be gone over with pencil or Posca. So, like, see how it went over where I'll probably have white? As long as it's dry, you can go over that with pencil or Posca. So I'm just going to get the major areas here. Again, I'm using quite a large brush. You don't have to use as large of a brush. But I'm trying to get as big of an area done as possible. So this is just the base coat. And because Prismacolors go over acrylic paint excellent, even more so, even better than it goes over other pencil. So I love acrylic paint washes because of that. It makes it quicker, but also your pencils go over. I know I've shown y'all every time I talk about it. I show the what I'm talking about with pencil going over pencil versus going over acrylic paint. I might show that again after I do this. So I'm just kind of finding him here. That's some water. That's part of him, I think. Water, waves. Maybe that's him right in there. And again, if you're not sure if a part of it's him or part of it's waves, you color it how you see it. It's okay. I always tell you, Kirby or any of the color book artists, they're not going to email you and say you did it wrong. I have yet to have a color book artist emailing me say, that was supposed to be waves. That wasn't part of the Kraken. You know what I mean, Vern? So, yeah. But, and again, even if I don't finish a whole page in 1, 2, 3, or finish it at all on camera, I'm more about showing y'all how to do different techniques and having fun with it. And whether we finish the whole thing here or not, it's like, oh well. Okay, so here's his cheek right there. And so I'm thinking that's part of this. Oh, you gone to the store and brought me back something? What surprise did you bring me?
Baby wipes.
Oh, wow. You're such a good hubster.
Well,
He brought me 2 packs of baby wipes for my art. Thank you, honey. All right. So, just kind of looking here where I might. It's maybe a little bit of his body's peeking through there. But I really like this teal color. All right, so, and it kind of gets dry kind of quick, especially sitting under here under my light. But all right, I think I'm going to move to a smaller brush now. And I'll show you here in a minute, or a little bit anyway. I'll show you some of the other Kirbys that I've done, and I know most of y'all probably seen them, but you can, that's too fat. Maybe this little, let's go with this. Smaller flat brush. So if you have any questions, put them in caps. I'm just going to keep painting. And again, I'm going to just, see, I'm just kind of doing the whole, going right over the whole thing right into the background out of lines, because I'm going to paint the background black. So I really don't have to be careful coloring around the details around the edges. That's, you know, you can do that with paint. You can go out of lines. Where I know I'm going to paint black. So you don't have to be so careful. What happened to Robin? I missed something. Okay. Need a little more water. Oops. Guess I shouldn't spray my page. Alright, so let's go back in here. And I'll show you what I mean with the black and white pencil and paint here in a minute. Let's go up here. And I'm not zoomed in because that's why you can just kind of see the whole big picture for a few minutes. So what is everybody else working on? Are y'all working on color books? Are you working on, you know, strings like we were doing earlier? What are y'all working on? And I don't know if Janet or who's going to stream after me, but now I am being a little careful right there on the edge so I don't like seep the paint under the page and get on the other side. Although if it happened, I would just color over it. Remember, you're the boss of your color book. So let's see what everybody else is. Terry, you're making bread? Do you have a bread maker, Terry? I hope. You're not making it by hand, are you? Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'll tell you what is nice about it is the smell, right? A little bit more water. When you're cooking it, I'll pull out my other Kirby books here in a minute. Let's see, he's down in there. Where else is he? Where else is he peeking through? There's some of his tentacles right there. Here's more. Doing the string and ink. I know, it's fun, right? It's not really, it's not so much messy except on your hands, you know, and if you wear the invisible gloves or if you have the plastic, you know, plastic gloves or something so that the ink doesn't get all over you. Whoops, that's a little dark there. A little thick, I should say, not dark, because I want to be able to see my color book through it there. Okay, here's some more in here. You got to kind of look around. Kirby's, you know, good at hiding things. Right? The heavy lifting done by the machines around here. Yeah, Terry. Can I use watercolor also? Yes, you can use watercolor. Jacqueline, by the way, we use watercolor here all the time in color books. We kind of alternate before watered down acrylic paint, watercolor, neocolor. We use a little of everything. Kimberly's gluing in her junk journal. Vicky's doing the remains of the day workshop. Limo is wearing gloves and still got one thumb orange and red. I know. Use fingernail polish remover if you don't have a craft scrubby. I had my hands were so inked up yesterday. Fingertips and everything. I took all my polish off, used the scrubby, use the fingernail polish remover again. It took a while. It took a while to get it off, and we're talking about the FW inks and pulling strings in your art journal. Okay. Left side of the boat. I missed one. Okay, right in here. Is that where you mean? Somebody spotted one for me. We have a tentacle spotter. Is this the one you mean? Painty Girl is painting. Oh, I saw those on Instagram, Painty Girl. Your light bulbs. Those are so cute. I saw that. Finishing off card. Mink is card inserts to print off or finishing off some cards. Yeah, Janet's finishing her love. Who are you doing that for, Janet? I'm sure it's for somebody. Knowing you. Probably somebody in Oz or something. Who are you doing that for? Janet's doing a love. Here's some right here. If y'all know the old love, I forget what the artist was that invented that. But it's the poster or the art that has the love like this. And Janet is doing that, like a piece about that big. And I'm sure it's for somebody. Thanks, Michaela. Hi, Paper Owl. Why do octopus laugh so much? Because they have tentacles. Oh, brother, Button. Button said, why do octopus laugh so much? Because they have 10 tickles. Cute one. Oh my gosh. Okay, so it's not going through. It's got a little bit of warping. And again, depending on how thick your paper is, how much water you put on, dry in between. Like if I wanted this darker with paint, I'd dry it first before I put on any more water because it will soak through, right? It will soak through. But it usually doesn't bother me. Let's take a rabbit trail real quick and get a sip of my coffee. That was so nice, Alex, to get me 2 refills. I just use the Huggies packs like this and put them back in the same container over and over again. When it gets low, I just take them out. I open the whole pack and just put them in the container. So anyway, he restocked me on that. So I'll just let this sit for a minute. Oh, no, you know what I need to do? I need to show y'all. Let me get a piece of paper here. You know what? I just need to do it in this journal because I'm always talking about this, and I never can find my sample again. So let's just go to one of these back pages here. This is the journal that I was doing the string art in. I won't go through it again. If you see this video, then that one should be up before it, hopefully. I want to just show you what happens here. So let me get some black paint, and what the benefit is. What the benefit is, just need a smudge. What the benefit is of having black paint versus just having black pencil. Let me get one of the baby wipes. All right, and it's just craft paint. That's all I ever use, guys. The other thing too is one of the reasons to use craft paint, matte craft paint, not satin, not gloss. Use matte craft paint. And it doesn't say matte on it, but if it doesn't say satin or gloss or metallic, then it's matte. The reason you want to do that is because your pencils will not go over shiny paint. And usually, it's for the Artful Evidence prompt. Okay, Janet, yeah, that's Rach. If y'all don't know, Rach O113 is doing a weekly 6x6 prompt, and her channel is, I think it's Rach0113, but it's Artful Evidence, and she's been doing a weekly prompt, and that's what Janet is doing her love thing for. Lost track of what I was going to say. Okay, so let me get a black pencil here. Oh, the shiny paint. So most artist grade, your acrylic paint in tubes has a sheen to it. Has a like a binder in it that's shiny, and that resists your pencils. That's another reason to use just the inexpensive craft paint matte, as opposed to your more expensive acrylic paints, because they have a shine to them. Now, I can't speak for every single brand. I haven't tried my pencils over every brand, you know, whether it's Grumbacher, Golden, Liquitex, whatever, because I just use the craft paint. Well, yeah, Connie, well, I remember it's in here? Probably not. But anyway, all right, so there's just black craft paint. Right now I'm going to take my black color pencil and get it as dark or close to as my black paint. So let's just say you're doing a color book page and you want a black background. Well, what's the benefit of doing it with acrylic paint? I will show you. Here's a white pencil, and I'm going to color over the black pencil as hard as I can. It is smearing the black, right? You can see it's smearing, but you're not getting white on top of there, ever. You're never going to get that white. Now let me sharpen my pencil anyway. But if you do something like this where you're going over something, make sure you clean the tip. That's why you see a lot of scribbles and stuff on I'm cleaning off the pencil tip. So now on the acrylic paint, you got to make sure it's dry, 100% dry. I want to show you, look. And I can do all kinds of shading. You can go around a star, you can go around a candle. You can, do anything on top of it. And this is not just with black and white. It's just very obvious when you do it with black and white. There's why you use acrylic paint right there. If you do smoke, if you do any kind of fog or mist, you can, if it's on, as long as you got an acrylic paint background, you can go over it like this with your pencil. You can't do it on top pencil on top of pencil. So there's my little sample, which I'll probably forget is in there, but whatever. All right. So real quick, let me show you some of the other Kirbys that we've done and show you more examples. And I most of y'all here have probably seen these, and but a lot of people ask me over and over, well, what about this? What about that? So I try to address it both. Don't get you guys bored, but and I am going to do I'm going to do a recording off without you guys having to sit through it, of all my mixed media art journals and altered abandoned books that I've altered. I'm going to do a flip of all of them and keep it in one video. So anyway, so again, washes. Now this one, the Anamorphia, which was Anamorphia or Imagimorphia, the first one. I think it was Anamorphia. The paper's a little thinner, so you got to be aware when you put washes of paint. You got to dry in between if you want to layer, and just be aware how much water. It's just less water the better. And they do buckle a little bit, especially on the thinner pages, but it doesn't really bother me, because by the time I paint this black or whatever color in the background and do the back side, you will not see any buckling, because the work on both sides kind of takes care of it. Oh, thanks, Zig. Here's where I showed how to use a stencil in your color book. This is stencil on his horn. Some of these are samples for you guys. I try to show you as many techniques and stuff, even if I don't finish pages. Here we did stamping, and in one of the other books, which one was it? Maybe it was this one, where we took the yeah, the alligators. Here's the alligators. So the alligators were like these butterflies, just open, no designs. Here's some with the designs, but then there's others that were open, like these, right? So I showed how you could stamp on them, and here we paper pieced them. So just trace the alligators and then cut them out of scrapbook paper and glued them on. So they're all filled in. These two already had the designs and this bit of design here. And I just put a wash of acrylic over it. Okay, just put a wash over it and left it like that with just the design, no colored in. And then all these were cut out of scrapbook paper. And you could do the same thing like with the butterflies or any of the opened, you know, open places like that. So most of these, here's a wash here just to show you. Sorry, garage door opening and closing. Wash on the cheetah. Here's another one. All these peacock feathers. You could take and fill all these feathers in with a paper that has a design. Oh, thanks, guys. You don't mind seeing it again. Fill these in with scrapbook paper. You could have them all, like this row have like blue scrapbook florals, or this one have purple, and or have them all, you know, just cut out of a pretty scrapbook paper. A floral would be pretty. You know, cut these all out of florals and glue them on. So yeah, same thing for the zebra. I think the zebra stripes, and all you have to do, guys, is just take some tracing paper and trace the shapes, just like your paper piecing. Trace the shape, and then put that tracing paper on your scrapbook paper and cut it out, and then piece it all, just glue it on there. So yeah, so you could fill in this whole zebra with, say, oh, I don't know, like with a fractal. This is from a calendar, but it could be a scrapbook paper, it could be whatever. But cut the zebra stripes, cut them out of this and glue them on, and you'll have all your pattern paper on the piece. Yeah, it's really fun. This one's done. I try to put the blue post-its on the finished pieces, and pink if I'm still in progress. But yeah, so this is all a wash of paint and then gone in there with pencil detail and some paint. White. I don't know if it was Posca or if it was just a white acrylic paint. So, and some pencil, some shading with pencil. Because remember, the pencil will go over the acrylic paint. So there's that one's done. Here's just a big fill in the page with bats. Again, I would probably just cut some out. This one's done, my owls. They're all done with washes of acrylic and pencil on top. Here's the same thing. You could use, you could do whatever. Let's see, another paper might be, I don't know if I want to put maybe flowers on the turtle. Like here's a scrapbook pad of okay, hang on, the sun's really beating through now. It's flashing everything out. That's a little better. Like these flowers or something, maybe something a little, I don't know, like something like that. Trace this out. Here, let's take a moment. And I only had a little piece of tracing paper left from when I did those alligators. Did I buy it? No, I didn't buy any more. Hang on, guys. Let me find just a scrap of something. There's a little bit. I'm out of tracing paper. Okay, so you just take. I have a pencil here a moment ago. Where'd that pencil go? Here we go. All right, so. turtle shell. Let's just do this one here. Just make sure it'll fit. Okay, I'll put that piece of tracing paper on that flower. Hold it tight, or you could tape it down. I'm just going to hold it. And this is the same way we did the alligators, and there's a video on that. Okay. And then you glue that down on your turtle. Let me adjust the light because it got really bright. There we go. So you could color your little turtle. Hang on. Just going to do this real quick, just so you get the idea. So you can do all kinds of things like this with, and it doesn't even have to be an open one. Some of them might have some design on there and you just want to make it easier on yourself. Let me just get a little bit of glue stick for now, because I don't know if I want to do the whole thing in this particular one, but so you can do all your turtles in florals. Floral turtles. So anyway, something like that. Okay, so this one's still in progress. This one's in progress. Again, they just have washes on them. Wash of purple on the octopus. This one's done. The iguanas. I really like them. What'd CB say? I'm afraid to ask. Snakes and patterns in the background. And again, here's the alligators. Oh wait, this needs to go back on. Finish page. I need a blue one on this one, finish page. So just so y'all can kind of see. And I like working on multiple pages because I feel like I'm getting further. Here you could do it with these whale sharks. I think those are whale sharks, or are they porpoises? Anyway, you could cut the shapes out and fill it in with scrapbook paper, magazine images, whatever, some kind of pattern paper, right? Okay, what's stuck there? There we go. And this one is one of my good examples for the difference after you put on your wash. Like right here, see that there's a wash right here on these tentacles there. And then here's one with color pencil. So you can see this is before pencil and after pencil. Just so you can kind of see. Same thing for up here. Here is just a wash here, and then here's where I've added pencil. So you can see the depth that you can get with the pencil on top of the acrylic wash. And it's just quicker, and it also gives your page some tooth. The acrylic paint gives your paper tooth to do your pencil on top. Okay, I think that's all I got done, and that one's in Anamorphia. Then in Imagimorphia, I'm just going to flip real quick. Again, a wash, a little bit of white acrylic, probably trying to show somebody how to do that. And yeah, I think this is the one. that I went through one Saturday. It's been a couple years. I'm sure it was probably close to 2 years, maybe. I don't even what year this book came out in. Does it have a? Oh, I covered it up. 2016. So this one came out in 2016, and one Saturday, I sat and with a bunch of washes, went through and put acrylic paint washes on almost every page, so that I would have it going. As long as I have the pages ongoing, because I do want to finish all my Kirby books at some point, and if I have a start on them, I'm more apt to feel like to go back and work on them. So I still got to do all this, but I got the swan's feathers done on these. So you can see the swan's feathers. Okay, and there's with gold paint that you cannot pencil over very easily. You could rough it down, but it's hard to shade over gold. Here's where I showed how to do smoke. Again, this is acrylic background. And see how I can go over it with a white pencil? The only way I could do that, I could not do this if I had colored this whole background with gray pencil. It's because it's paint that I could do the smoke coming out of the train. Here's where I did some copper effect behind the mech moth. Still in progress there. There you can see in progress. Background painted. Again, a wash is just over the bird. There's no penciling yet, but again, I've used this as an example for how to paint a background, and you can make glows and stars and stuff like that. Bye, Zig! Thanks for stopping in. And this is another one where the purple background's painted purple with acrylic paint, and because of that I can go over the purple paint with the lavender pencil. Where's my lavender? And see, you can make it look like they're breaking through the water. But the reason I can do this is because it's got the acrylic paint. If you have any questions, put them in caps. I'm just doing a flip. This one has got stickles on top of all the spider web there. And this one's got it on the whole thing without the little items being colored in, just so you can see the difference there, having them colored and not colored. And then every time I show this, I can't help myself. See how I got all the scribbly lines, all the scribbles around the bugs? It's because they're going zzz, 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 zzz. I hope so, Sammy. Sammy said one day I'll be showing all my completed Kirby books. And then here's where I've shown, this has just got the wash, this has got the pencil. So you can see the difference between once it's got pencil on it. One of these days. And this one I'm making it look all dirty, like they're in the woods. And so it's going to be very dirty looking like that. If I didn't have so many pages in progress, I'd probably have a finished book. I don't, you know what? And some people really, want to concentrate on that. I have fun doing my pages just like I do them. A little bit here, a little bit there. If I pull one open just to show you a technique, and that's all I get done on that page at this present time. Someday I'd like to finish them all. But I mean, but realistically, I mean, I might finish a Kirby book or two, maybe, in my life. But am I going to finish the all the tons of color books that I have from cover to cover? No. But anyway, here's another one where the background is painted dark blue, and then I use light blue to go around the shark to give it kind of like a glow. The shark has no pencil yet. The shark just has a wash, but he's got the glow around him. And then this is all splattered paint, and I'll do my own stars and nebulas and stuff. And so you can see where I've gone around everything, gave everything a glow with the blue pencil. The reason I could do that blue glow is because I've got a dark blue, navy blue background of acrylic solid paint. You make an appointment with your sound effects. Sammy, I don't think I have that sound, but I have a thing called Soundboard. Let's go on a third rabbit trail, shall we? Sorry, guys. I like to have fun, So I have an app called Soundboard. That's just what it's called, Soundboard. It looks like this. And there's tons of different sounds. And that's why when you hear me do in the mornings, most of the time it's before I hit record. But when Terry Trouble comes in, we call her the Cougar. I always play that when I see Terry in the morning. But there's all kinds. I mean, there's all kinds of. That's Darth Vader. Here's a drum roll. And of course, everybody's favorite. And the angry cat. Love the angry cat. Here's a chicken. I mean, there's just tons of them. They're all fun, you know. I don't know how many. You could probably buy more, you know.
You're out.
We saved that for trolls.
You're out.
Anyway, okay, so. So again, more washes, showed how to do, here's some pencil on top of acrylic paint, another sample, you know. I do a lot of samples for you guys. This was one monochromatic wash. So the background is painted turquoise, and then it has a wash of the same turquoise over the whole thing. Then I'll go back in and do details on each bird. And like, look, here's how I did a little feather swirling in the wind. See? And they're all escaping out of the, so I painted the bird cage like partially, like it's kind of like coming out of that. They're all coming out of a dimension. There's another one with just a wash. Another wash. Lots of washes. I do a lot of wash. What was the one you use when waiting in line at the store? Oh, the one I use when I go to the store. Yeah, that's not the Soundboard. That's my whip app. Pocket Whip. It's called Pocket Whip. Hang on. And I didn't buy extras. It comes with a couple, but you know, like. Well, let's get it back. Wait. Hang on. It flew down there. Here we go. It's the Whip app, and it works by flicking your phone. And then there's this one. And it's fun. It's fun to do that in a long line at the store. You know, just get that whip app out. And I do the hubster sometimes in the store just to tease him. You know, people look at you. The other one I like, I do have one. Hang on. I do have one on the Soundboard that I use in line. Hang on. Let me find it. Got to look for it. Hang on. 1 minute. There's a lot here. I got to read them all here. Looking. Where is it? Where is it? Why can't I find it? Here it is. Okay, so this is the one I use in the store. The crickets. Yeah, we like to have fun. Okay, so here's when I started putting some white paint on his face. This one I did all with gel pens. Another one with just a wash on him. Here's one with a wash, and then the background I painted brown, and then I went in with pencil and started making a tree. So this is all with pencil lines there. And then I want to put a mist over the whole thing when it's done. But I can't put the mist over everything until it's done. That's your final touch. But I wanted to show how, see, I'm working on doing a tree in the background with pencil. I like the crickets. So yeah. Here's another one. Oh, here we use this one for different background tests. But you know, when I'm done, I can always just cover these up with the same like paper piecing that we did on the alligators. But we did Crayola, Canson, something, chalky. Well, I wrote down the different. This is the toothiest, the gouache, a cheap set of gouache. So we did different tests. I don't remember what they were now. So yeah, again, lots of washes. So that's in Mythomorphia. And then in Phantomorphia, which is the newest one, I've only got one page done, and that's this one. Now the nice thing about Phantomorphia, even though it doesn't have as many pages and people have complained about it, the paper is thicker and it's one-sided. So like this one I use markers, and it doesn't matter if it goes through. Here's where I'm working on the bat. It doesn't matter if it goes through. Just remember to put something behind so that the marker doesn't go over to this page. But there's my tree, and on this one I only used 3 colors. I used red, green, and purple. Now I used 2 shades of purple, a couple shades of red, a couple shades of green, and the black background. But I only used 3 colors, and then gave the little ships the little steam like coming off of the edges of the ships, you know, coming off the back of them. So that is in Phantomorphia. Okay, so let's get back to the Kraken. Let's get Kraken. All right, so I think my water, I'm going to want it, do I want it a gray? No, let's see, I got to have some kind of a contrast to him because he's kind of it's kind of a gray, green, blue. Hit all late getting started today. Hi, Lynette. So I got to decide what kind, do I want just a nice, like a Bahama blue, so he kind of gets blended in with it, or do I want something really different, really dark blue, like dark blue, dark blue, like Prussian blue? Do I want purple water? What color water do I want? Gotta think. I could have green. I could have green water. Let's see. I like the purple. You're working on the unicorn, Lynette? I kind of like that. See, but so much the same hue. You know, it needs something more contrasting. I'm looking. I'm thinking. I'm looking over all my colors while I'm sitting here. Do I want purple? Do I want a baby blue? Do I just want blue? Do I want a green? This would be a good color on him. He would be good with this color accent, like a mint green. That would be a good color on him. I just like those colors together. The mint green on him. If I have a black background. Let me paint the background while I'm sitting here, and I'll think about it. I'll do the background. Okay, I gotta open this new black. I'm thinking of some kind of a purple. Why can't I get that out? Let me get my, cut my thing open here. I still haven't seen if, who's going to stream today. Does anybody know? Sammy or Sky or C. Oh, I'm thinking for him, I want these two colors. Whether I use a pencil or some acrylic paint, some pencil. But I think I want him, because this is the color he is. But if I go darker, you know, this is antique teal, I can shade with darker, whether it's pencil, like peacock blue is that color. The peacock, it might be called peacock green. It's called peacock green. What is it called? ASMR moment. These are all the pencils I use all the time. Most of my pencils are up here in bundles. But I'm looking for, I think it's peacock. It's probably called peacock green. Is that it? No, that's dark green. Although I'll need that too. And there's another teal in here. I'll need that. It's dark green. Anyway, I'm not to that point yet. But these colors, I think I want the Kraken to be these colors. Okay, Janet. So let me go in and do the background, because I'm going to want black. I'm going to want stars. Y'all know me. All right, let me get a little bit of wax paper or something so I don't glue the pages together. There's a piece of parchment. That'll do. But I'm not sure what color I want the water to be, because I want it to be contrasting, but I don't want it to be red. Like, I know y'all are talking about like having blood in the water, but there's a peacock green and blue. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm thinking of the green one. All right, so let's just go ahead and we'll start with a bigger brush and work our way down to that, if I can find the one I just had, to this one. There's not a whole lot here, so, but one of the nice things, and I'm not putting any water, no water in the background, so it's nice and solid. Like where I went out of lines, well, and I kind of did it on purpose to show you, but you don't need to worry about, if you're going to paint the background, whatever color it is, it's going to cover it up, you know, solid color. Teals, gold, pumpkin, orange, navy. Yeah, but I'm thinking for the water, I don't want orange water. I mean, I could do it. I mean, it's a fairy tale book, right? We can do it any color we want. I mean, I know what colors go with teal, but they don't go with water. You know what I mean? They don't say water to me unless it was like red. And again, I don't really know if I want to do you know, a lot of blood in the water. All right, so I'm just getting filling in the big areas here. And then I'll go back in with the smaller brush. There's not a lot here, background in the sky, because I'm going to put the night sky. It'll have stars and my, you know. Okay. Especially just want to get the edges. because then I can remove the wax, the parchment paper. This is quicker. And I know my camera just went like, what? What happened there? We just got dark. There we go. So I'll have to think about it for a minute. And there's all kinds of smoky bits and all that. I love that. Oh, thanks. We'll try. We can try. If it doesn't work, then here's what I think about when I do something that doesn't work. Then y'all know what not to do. That's how I look at it. It's like, oh, okay, that didn't work out so well, Dee Dee. Well, then now y'all know what not to do. Right? There's some, there's some, there's some. Okay. So, I gotta know where all the black's going. Okay, let me clean that. Moving down to a smaller brush. Maybe storm clouds. The sea looks pretty well. Yeah, but I'm talking about the water itself. I'm talking about the color of the water. That's what I'm trying to decide. Okay, I think I will try to zoom in a little now. So, and what if the water is yellow and shaded in blue and greens? Yeah, it could be, it could be a lot of things. I just have to decide what I think will look good with the mint green and the antique tealy color. Try to stay in camera here. I don't have to decide today. I can go work on the Kraken after this. Shade the Kraken a little. Yeah, I don't know about the dark purple. Maybe. See, I like contrast. I like high contrast. So the purple would be dark. I could do it like the dioxazine purple as a base and then like lavender on top. I didn't really think it out, did I? I said, I want the Kraken to be this color. I can't believe it's Wednesday already, but I do want to do, like I said, maybe, let's see, this weekend, we were out last night. I don't know if I don't think I have to go anywhere this weekend. And I think it's supposed to rain, so we can't even go metal detecting. But I need to do that video where I flip through all my art journals. Now, they're not done, of course, They're all in progress. And my altered books, altered abandoned books, I do want to do a flip, even if I just record it. Because people keep asking me, well, I didn't see, where can I see a flip through of all your abandoned books and altered books and all that? And I don't know, because I do it random, somebody will say, well, I need to see, let me see your books, or, I'll talk about one, and then I'll start flipping through, and then I don't put it in the description, because it's random, it's a rabbit trail. So I want to make an official flip. Yeah, exactly, Sammy. Yeah. And I do have my animals that are sketched out for I know, it's been 2 years. Terry's going, yeah, I'll see those on Society 6. I'll believe it when they're there. She wants one of my phone cases, and I've been telling her I'm going to get it on Society 6 for 2 years. Oh. But I did cut back on my commission so I'd have more time. But we'll see. My portraits. It's very interesting to see and hear your thought process. Yeah, well, and that's the thing, I try to talk out everything I do. Because I want, I want everybody to let know that there's ways to do, not only just ways to do things, but I'm sharing what I'm thinking about. And that's like when I'm doing my mixed media, the collage, the altered books, and all that. People are always asking me, especially ones that are doing those projects. Well, how do you decide on this, and how do you decide on that? I said, well, when you're watching me do it, I am telling you everything I'm thinking. I talk it out, and then I get complaints. You talk too much. You're too chatty. You repeat yourself. Why do you repeat yourself? Well, I'm doing the same thing over and over, so I talk about it, and people are asking me questions. My brush is getting crusty, so I need to rinse it out because the paint is drying on the brush. See, I just said that's what's going on. The paint is getting crusty on the brush. I need to stop and rinse my brush. And people ask me the same questions, and people are coming and going in chat. It's a live show, and people are sitting here, and if somebody leaves and comes back, or somebody new comes in and says, oh, what color paint are you using? I'm using Lamp Black by Americana. And then 5 minutes later, someone comes in and goes, what color is that black? Well, am I supposed to say, I'm sorry, I already answered that question when you weren't here? You know what I mean? You answer questions, because even if you have to repeat yourself, it's just the way of it. And it's chatty. It's a chatty show. So, if you don't like a chatty show, this, it's probably just not for you. Or mute me. You can just mute me and put on some music. Yeah, me too, Sammy. Just mute me. I know I'm a talker. So, alrighty. Let's see. Put a little bit in there. You could probably even get a smaller brush. I'm trying to just tackle it with this flat. When I get down in here and some littler spaces, I'll get a pointed brush. Right now I'm just trying to get the main. Whoop, there we go. Let's move over this way. But, part of the fun for me of doing these shows is talking to you guys. I know I miss a lot in chat, but I try. That's why I still put it in caps. Yeah, exactly. People come and go. Yeah. Yeah, I try to, if somebody wants to know the whole process, like from beginning to end, and they come in the middle, then I just have to tell them to watch it, go watch the recording. I'm not going to repeat everything, obviously. But, just a question or something, I try. Okay, I want to get a littler brush right in there. Okay, let me just get a pointy brush. It's getting ready to pour again. We're supposed to have rain all week and weekend. Let me check my time, by the way. Let's see how long we got here. Okay, we're good. We're good. My vote is not red for. Yeah, no, I'm not going to, Connie. I'm not going to do a blood. I did the werewolf. So, let's see. I'm good. I dig out a smaller brush. I need to go through my brushes again and separate them by size like I had. Okay, there's a nice angle brush. Keep that out. I need one smaller. Let me dig through my brushes. And these are all just craft brushes, guys. Nothing fancy. You buy them in packs of, you can buy them in packs of 10 for $5 and use a coupon, you know. Thanks, yeah. And see, that's when I'm watching other people's. I love watching long videos. I like watching stream recordings or uploaded recordings that are, oh, there we go, that are long. So while I'm working, I like to listen to other people. All right, my book's not fitting under the camera. There we go. And I like sharing. You know, if I'm doing whatever I'm doing, I tell y'all what I'm doing. I'm not holding anything back. You know, I try to share everything I'm doing. So you can try. You can try it. So I'm putting this on pretty thick. No water in the paint, and I'm putting it on pretty thick. So you gotta, you know, you'll have to either hit it with a heat gun or let it dry. But a lot of colors you can get away with one coat. Like black, I find no problem getting black with one coat, as long as there's no water in your brush. Because if you have water, then it's gonna water it down, and you'll have a wash. Some colors take two coats on a background, like lime green, red. You know, some colors are just more translucent and they might need two coats. But I'm sitting here, I'm kind of scruffing it in. I don't know if y'all can see that. I'm kind of scruffing it in. What do you clean your brushes with? Water, Sammy? Just, oh, let me move this. Don't laugh. This is my water in here. It's got a double tray, so you can clean it with one and rinse with the other. And I try to clean this out every other day. I got little sponges sitting on top so that when I need a, you know, sponge, but I usually leave it like this, like slit open, and I've got like 5 or 6 paper towels folded up underneath. So what I do, and I just put some fresh ones in today. Let me move this real quick. What I do is, this is sitting next to me like this, right? So it's sitting next to me like that with a wad of paper towel. So I go in here, I clean my brush, and I clean it off on the paper towel. And that's all I do. But I clean them really well. And I make sure that they're really clean at the end of whatever I'm working on. And when the cats are around, I do that. So, yeah. And this just sits over here next to me. Now, if they get real crusty, you know, I'll wash them in the, you know, under the sink. I mean, like running water. And I just use a bar of soap. And you can get a bar of soap and clean it out. Okay? No particular soap. And then if your brushes get frayed, if they get flared, you can, after you wash them out and get them clean, then let's just say this is a bar of soap. After, with the brush still wet, then take your wet brush and run it over a bar of soap. Run it over the bar of soap, and then flatten it out while the soap is still in there, and let it dry. Let it dry with the soap in there, and then it should reshape it. Now, if it's really bad, if it's really like here, so this brush, like, all right, see how nice and flat this one is, this angle brush? See how nice and flat that is? This one used to look like that. Okay? This one used to look like this. There's no going back on this baby. That one is There's no going back on that. You're not ever going to get that one to look like this again, right? But again, I just use craft brushes, guys. They're, like I said, Michael's Craft Smart. Yeah, this is a Craft Smart, Michael's brand. You can get them for um, $5 for 20, or something like that. All different shapes. You can buy a set of rounds. You can buy a set of flats. You can buy a mixed, all different kinds. I do have some nice brushes that I used when I was doing watercolor. I have some nice oil brushes, but they're not in here. Like, here, hang on. Rabbit trail. Okay, so like for my craft brushes, I know I've shown y'all this before, but we'll just take a moment because we're almost done for the day. So I keep all my brushes like here, even with the scissors in them. So I have, hang on, let's see here. Let me get my lighting. The lighting doesn't want. So I have these like in jars. The cats love these, by the way. So I have jars and jars and jars of paintbrushes. And I can't even, and look, Phil's even in there. Because Phil is a paintbrush. So, whoops. The cats love to knock these over and play with them, and I let them. Because it's not really going to hurt anything. They're they like to knock them over and play with them. I usually only let them do one at a time because I don't feel like picking them all up. But I just keep them in these jars. And I keep them right here behind the laptop. So they're handy, but they're kind of out of my way. And if the cats are up here, they're not going to knock all of them over, right? But let me see here. I have, if I do real scruffy painting, over here to the side, I have, these are really old brushes. These brushes here are probably, some of them are probably 20 years old. These are old scruffy brushes. And they're just in a box with my old scissors. So I have those. But then I gave a bunch to Cameron when he started oil painting. I gave him a lot of my nice oil painting brushes because I'm not going to oil paint anymore. That I see in the foreseeable future. I gave Cameron, who's my 18-year-old grandson, in case anybody doesn't know, I gave him all my oil paints, all my Bob Ross stuff, except for this gesso that I bought on clearance because you can use this. I use this on my, art journal. But I gave him all my paintings, most of my brushes, all my solvents, all the, linseed oil. I gave him all that. And so I have some brushes here these are my long-handled brushes. So I have these in this little hopper. And then I have some of my really nice, more expensive sables and stuff in here. So these are some of my really nicer, more expensive brushes in here. And I don't use these on with acrylic paint. These are like when I want to do my nice watercolor. And again, I gave Cameron a lot of my nice oil painting brushes because I won't ever oil paint. Probably not, anyway. So, but some of those brushes I probably had for 20 years. But I clean them out. I clean them out. And you'd think that I wouldn't need any more, right? But, as soon as this nice, crisp, sharp edge is gone, I'm going to buy another one of these $5 pack of angle brushes as soon as that point's gone. Because this is if I had to recommend buying one type of brush, it would be this, an angle brush. Because you can get a nice flat, you can get a line, and you can get a point. An angle brush is just the most versatile brush there is. But, I'm rough on them. I'm scrubbing, I'm scruffing, and, cleaning them. And so I'm kind of rough on them. But just for using on my color book pages, my mixed media, my art journals, my abandoned places, these are fine. Don't go out and buy expensive brushes just for, I mean, you can do what you want, obviously, but you don't need to. You don't need to have expensive brushes to do this kind of stuff. And that's why I got so many. All those hundreds of brushes you saw, they're all packs that cost probably under $5 for 10, except for the ones rolled up. Some people stock up on candles. Yeah, I stock up on, and I really don't stock up. I just, I like every now and then to have flat, um, unfluffy brushes, but they don't need to be expensive for this purpose, for art journaling, mixed media, collaging, reverse collaging with paint. You don't need expensive brushes. Okay, let me zoom back in a minute. There's room for more in those jars. Shh, Sammy. Shh. Okay, I'm going to look down in here in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and get around all the edges first here. And it does take a little bit of time to paint the backgrounds and stuff, but it's so worth it. It's so worth it when you want to put stars and nebulas and feathering and glow, fog, mist, water. When you want to do all that with color pencil, whether it's in a color book or your art journal pages, it seems like it may take but imagine trying to color this all in solid with black pencil and not being able to do anything on top of it. I mean, I guess you paint on top of it, but I mean, you couldn't get all that effect that you can get with pencil on top of acrylic paint. And you can do it on top of watercolor, neocolor too, but I've found that acrylic paint has the best tooth for your pencils. But you can use, on top of watercolor, neocolor, and all that. It's just not quite as toothy. And if there was a whole bunch of stars already on here, like if Kirby had drawn a bunch of little circles for stars, I mean, I did go around those little things right there, and I'm going around this little piece of wood flying up. But if it's just a whole bunch of stars in the sky, I'll just paint over all of it and splatter my own at the end. Because, it's the same thing. Just because the stars aren't exactly where Kirby put them. He won't email you, trust me. You painted over my stars and put them where you wanted. Remember, you're the boss of your color book. So anyway, we'll just work on this for a little bit. And I am going to do a couple more episodes on the Kraken. But I'm not going to do 14. And it's not that I mind working on it for a long period of time. It's not that I mind doing, taking a long time to do a color book page by myself. Leaving it, I could work hours on a color book page by myself. But when I know I have people wanting to see it done, finished, or see me work on it, the pressure to get it done on camera, And then I think, I'm dragging this. All right, I'll give you a perfect example. My Alice in Wonderland poster one. I feel pressure to get that done, but I'm not having fun with it. And I'll tell you why, because that is the only page that I've ever said, let's try to duplicate the way it's colored in the book. You know, like the sample page. The sample page is done. So let's see if we can duplicate it. I don't like doing that. I found that out. I found out I do not like trying to duplicate somebody else's coloring. That's just me. I just don't like it. So trying to finish that, what I'll probably just end up doing is not duplicating the rest of it. You know, I'm trying to copy the, I'll pull it out here in case somebody doesn't know what I'm talking about. I'll show you in a minute. I'm just not, it's not fun for me to try to match the exact colors. And I think at the same time, I think the person that colored it in gouache, not even in color pencil, and I'm trying to do it in color pencil, and just not liking it. Not having fun. It's not that I don't like how it's looking. I like the way it looks, but I'm not enjoying it. I'm not enjoying trying to copy a page. All right, let's see. Now let's look real careful here. I think down here, right along the edge. This is why you want to keep your wax paper or whatever, some kind of paper behind it, so that when you go on the edge. Okay, I think I got all the edges done on that side. Do I have all the edges done on this side? I think we got it. Because that's part of the ship. Sails there. See, it's a boat that's been, I don't know if you can tell, it's a boat that's, the Kraken is cracked up. So it's all, you know. So anyway, I don't know. I think let me test my chat here. It might have, there it goes. All right, so let's go ahead and back up here, guys. And I think we're going to call this for the day. Oh, my foot's sleeping, sitting on my foot. Okay. So there's a start. There's a start on our Kraken. Let's lighten it up a little. There we go. Thanks, Lynn. So I'm going to leave that for, you know, I did some show and tell, and I think showing different ways to do washes and backgrounds and stuff is helpful. Let me go ahead and splatter some stars. We'll do that real quick, and then I'll show you the book that I'm talking about that I'm not enjoying. And it's not that it's not that I'm not enjoying doing it. It's that I'm not enjoying trying to do it like they did it, like whoever colored the sample. All right, so I put out some water, and now I'm going to get a brush that has, you know, some kind of, you know, that is kind of floppy. Let me, probably even more than that. Let's see. Soft bristle, you know, that'll be splattery. Well, I'll just go with this one. It's tiny, but. So I'm going to water this down and get it almost like ink. Really watery, right? Fix my computer there. Real watered down. I mean, it's real. See how watery that is? Okay, and then I'd start by splattering a couple taps on the bowl, and then come over here. And if some gets on the Kraken, that's okay. If you don't want it on the Kraken, while it's wet, you know, get your baby wipe or finger or whatever and move it while it's wet, because once it's dry, there's no, you know, you can cover it up. But maybe a little bit down here. And probably I'll have some splatters and stuff on top of the water after I get that water painted in. All right, let me get a baby wipe and remove a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to get it off of the Kraken there. All right, so I'm going to leave that. I'll add in planets and maybe a shooting star or two or something at the end. But there's my background anyway. Thanks. It's really easy to do a star background. And the nebula, like here, you know, see how I've got pencil here? This is just black paper, so of course it's going to go on there. But, you know, I play with my table here. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that for now, and we'll come back to this one later. The book that I'm talking about that I love working in, but not the way, if I can find it, let me see here, but not, here it is. So it's the poster one. This one has a poster. Let's make sure there's nothing on here. It's this one. The Alice falling through the rabbit, falling in the rabbit, you know, hole. So, here's the, okay. Okay, so inside the book, let me adjust the lighting because it got really flashed out there. Get the true color. All right, so here inside the book is this sample, right? Why am I so not zoomed back out? Maybe I need to lift my camera. It's a little, come on, stay light, stay light, stay. Okay, so this book is all different fairy tales. All different fairy tales. I'm pretty sure it's Korean. And I love this, right? I love this picture of Alice falling and the rabbit falling. And I said, let's try to make a challenge. Let's try to color it just like this. Because it came with a poster, right? This is a poster that came inside. It's pretty much the same size. I said, let's color it just like the picture. And you can see like there's little designs like faint white dots. So we did, you know, try to do everything just like it. You know, there's the shading in her pantaloons. So I tried to match it exactly as much as I can. But I don't like it. I mean, I like it, but I don't like trying to make it the same. Okay, so here's the rabbit, and here's the rabbit. I mean, you know, we got it pretty close, but it's not fun for me to try to copy it. You know? So I'm just not having fun with trying to duplicate it. You can see what see the cards down there, and so I got a wash on here. See, it's just started here. But like, here's one of the little chests and everything. There was no, this pot here was just white. I mean, there was no design on it. So I tried to do, see? Anyway, bye, Terry. So I'm having fun. I mean, I like the page. I love the book, but I don't want to try. I'm not happy trying to do it exactly like this. And like I said, this is probably done in gouache anyway, not pencil. But anyway, so yeah, I want to do more in this book, but I feel like I should finish this poster before I move on. And it's kind of just got me stuck because I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it like this, I should say. I just want to do it my own way. Yeah. But anyway, so I think what I'll do is just start going at it on my own without the picture. Because I really want to get back in this book. I love this book. So anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed that. I hope y'all are you know, got some ideas, and everybody loves it when I work in Mythomorphia or any of Kirby's books. Everybody loves Kirby's books. So, you're welcome, guys. Thanks for being here. And I hope everybody has a good... Oh, you know what we forgot? We forgot Phil. I had him in the jar. Mike. Y'all have a great hump day. We'll see you guys later. Bye.